2019 Lamborghini Urus Track Drive Review. The Banshee from SantAgata. Palm Springs, California. The is a strange beast. It's generally shaped. We flew to California at the height of snowbird season to drive this $200,000 SUV. We wanted to focus. There's a group feel to the whole design, discernible even under the camouflage of hexagonal shapes. That's no surprise. The Urus interior, too, has a distinct aura. The leather is fantastic, but on the track, you move the Urus around like you're swinging a sledgehammer. At 4,000, the Urus is surprisingly nimble in corners, too, thanks to the all-wheel drive system, the adaptive air suspension and a whole lot of computer wizardry. 6 different drives. We spent most of the time on the track in Corsa, the most aggressive of the Urus drive settings. The suspension is body roll U, especially in Corsa U, is all but non-existent, and the seats do a good job of keeping you planted without feeling claustrophobic. You never get the sense. The steering itself is quick and accurate but feels a bit removed from what the tires are doing. It's definitely thanks to the refined handling, big brakes, and noodles of power, the Urus is a hoot and easy to drive quickly around the track, though you're always aware that the computer is doing a lot of the work. Still, there's definitely a lot of Volkswagen and Audi in there, too, something we noted in our first drive review. Likely too much, a few from last week. The Urus in my that Lamborghini batch carries a lot of cachet and is worth its weight in envy and jealousy. Few other vehicles originally appeared on Monday, March 11, 2019 11:35:00 EDT. Please see our terms.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.